be a big VM?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right.
I got you.
That's new. All right, we good?
Yep, up in the stable.
Well, good night for the Dens. You know, everybody got to play, and you know, one of those nights where the ball goes in, and we got to. I think we were 12 for 17 to start the game from 3 in the first half, and you know, but I thought we did a really good job just setting the game with our defense, and you know, in the 2 games that we were able to see versus you know, they've already played 2 games, so. You know, they were able to get out. They beat Morris by 40, and they really got out in transition. And then they got a post player, number 13, that's causing a lot of people some problems. And you know, I thought it was really important that we took care of those 2 things, kept them out of transition, made sure they didn't get clean post touches, and limited them to 1 shot. And I thought for the most part we did that in our first half. You know, a lot of guys got to play. You know, you got to see some of our youth has a chance to be really good. And you know, to tonight, right? Mason Smith, I think, led us in minutes, and Edrin, you know, he's starting to come into his own a little bit, get a little bit more comfortable out there, and so we were able to get him. He played about 21 minutes, and to be honest with you, playing a little bit out of position, you know, he'll grow into a point. We really want him more at the 2, but until PJ gets back, he's got to take on some of those point guard responsibilities. But a lot of guys did some good things. I thought Nick started us out well. You know, hit those back-to-back threes. And just got the ball going in the net. Everybody sees it. Making shots is contagious. Missing shots is contagious. And then Tom got going. You know, Tom got going, which was good to see. And then Garrett hit 1, and Reese hit 1, and Mason hit 1. And you know, all of a sudden, you know, we got pretty comfortable from the edges there. So, you know, complete game. We had almost 40 deflections, which you know, that's nice to see. I don't care who you're playing. When you get 40 deflections, you know, you're dialed in terms of what you're trying to do. And this team continues to show the desire to try to get stops, and that's been refreshing. You know, now with 2 preseason games and now this opener tonight, it appears to be a team that wants to pride itself on getting stops on that end of the floor, and I think that's going to be critical as we continue to grow.
Coach, sometimes in games like this where there's, you know, you win pretty handily and you're having a good night offensively, everything's going well, and especially with a young team, you know, you can maybe get a little too amped up if things are going that well. But it looked like y'all were really crisp tonight for a first game, 10 turnovers. Can you speak to how crispy y'all were on both ends of the floor?
Well, I think sometimes, you know, when you're trying to play a clean game, you know, more of the ball's moving freely, the ball doesn't get sticky, and guys aren't over-dribble, over-driving, over-shooting. You know, when you're working together as one, it tends to be a little cleaner. And that is something that's been a little bit of early in camp. We were turning the ball over too much, and you know, really trying to emphasize that in the last couple of weeks. It was good to see. We wanted to try to have a 20-10 game. Our record last year when we had 18 assists or more was like 11-1. We only lost 1 time, and you would think that most of our teams, it kind of resonates that, hey, the more this thing moves, the better looks we're going to get. And I think this team's really bought into that. And I think when you're not forcing the issue, when you're not playing 2 people, when you're really hunting great looks and you're willing to cut and move it, you know, you tend to be a little cleaner there. And, you know, these guys just really enjoy one another. They enjoy playing for one another, with one another, and I thought you could see that tonight.
On the first possession of both the Auburn game and this game, I think you guys had a couple deflections against Auburn, and then on their first possession tonight, that might have been a steal, I can't remember. But I'm trying to rack my mind, but like I can't remember back-to-back games in which, you know, it seemed like the opponent had a hard time scoring from the outset of the game. Could you just, how this team seems to be prepared and locked in on the defensive end from the outset of things. Has that been the experience that they've had since day one, since you've been coaching?
Yeah, it's what we have to be. You know, like we have to play complementary basketball, and first thing we got to do, like if we're going to be big, we got to play big. And when you play big, right, like you fill up the paint, you fly to the ball, you rebound the ball. And you got to get a team that really enjoys playing defense and enjoys getting stops. And, you know, you can say, hey, you know, not a good opponent and things like that. But, you know, we played this team, our 3rd team, a 25-win team. And the game was kind of knotted up for a while, you know, low 20s, mid 20s. And, you know, we watched it this week in prep for this. And, you know, we went to the 1-3-1 and turned the game. But when we were just playing our regular man-to-man defense for the first 10 minutes of the game was knotted up. And, you know, it was good to see our base man-to-man, you know, did a really, really good job of being disruptive. And, you know, we're long. right? We're long, and we got guys that have been working at it. Coach Warner's done a heck of a job over there. You know, I've given him the defense in terms of coordinating it and really putting a lot of focus on it, right? But making it part of our identity. This is who we've got to be, and it's always been like that. You know, you go back to a lot of our great teams. You know, that second team to beat Villanova, like that's what that team was. That was a get a stop team, and we just have to get back to that. We can't just have this mindset that we're just going to outscore you, because there's going to be some offenses that are going to score. And if you really want to make the game difficult, go out there and defend first, and then let your offense play off of that. And a lot of times, the paradox of this game, the better you play defense, the more you get out in transition, the more you get to flopping down the floor, and the game becomes a lot more fun. And we've got to make sure the game's complementary.
Coach, old guy, Kyle Tyree's an old guy, but that's what he is now. Double in 15 minutes off the bench. I mean, that's pretty efficient.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. You know, Scott, as cliche as it sounds, I mean, I don't know if this team's going to have a bench per se. You know, like there's so much parity that we're gonna be at. I mean, I really do believe, and I know all coaches say it early in the year, we're deep and we have depth. I think we have 10, and I think we have more than 10. You know, I think to keep the rotations clean, you know, we're gonna have to keep it at 10. But you know, you saw what Chuck could do in the Auburn game. We know Reese in terms of his ability to rebound the ball and play tough and, you know, get up and down the floor. Garrett hit that three tonight. Garrett's had a pretty good transition to the four, and then you got Cooper that's just going to get better every time he goes out there. And so we're going to have four bigs, you know, that can play those 80 minutes. And it's just, hey, let's keep them fresh and let's figure out which one's defending the best. Let's figure out which one's protecting the rim the best, which one's running the floor the best, and maybe they play a little bit more than the others. But there's going to be nights where it's Reese night. It's going to be nights where it's G's night. There's going to be nights where it's Coop's night. There's going to be nights where it's Chuck's night. And the neat thing about it is they've kind of embraced it as a unit. You know, those four guys have really, you know, they haven't really shown any bitterness or resentment towards that. Like, hey, yeah, let's go be big. Let's go play physical. And you know, they all have their strength, right? And I think for Reese, his strength to rebound that ball and to run and just be rugged, use his strength, use his experience. I think the more he does that, the better impact he can have on the game.
To the point of rotations, when you have a group that's as deep and can do as many different things as the 10 guys you mentioned, or maybe more, as a coach, who do you study to like, are there other teams out there that you study during the off season to know what your substitution patterns will be?
I mean, I'm not the smartest coach out there, but you know, we played 9 the last 3 years. Should I add one more? I mean, I don't think it's crazy, right? It's just like you look at it. Hopefully, we have 2 point guards, we have 2 2s, we have 2 3s, we have 2 4s, we have 2 5s, and then you figure out which guys have earned minutes to go play those roles. There's a lot of guys. I mean, you know, Mike Young's last team here at Wofford, I mean, they rolled 10 at you. And I mean, it just felt like as soon as your best players were getting a blow, they would come back with their best players, and they did a really good job of really buying into that. I think Sanford did a great job in our league last year of that. You know, they just kept bringing depth, and the game just wears you out. And a lot of times these guys think that, hey, you know these guys deserve more minutes or they should be playing. But when you get a team that just says, hey, like, we got to go try to just, at the end of the day, like, we got to go play as hard as we can for as long as we can. Next guy comes in, and when they can buy into that, I think that's when you have a chance to just impose some will, and I think that's going to have to be a key for this group.
Any update on PJ?
Yeah, PJ, you know, he practiced yesterday, so that was a positive, and you know, I think that the plan is to see, you know, how he progresses there in the next couple of days, and you know, he's close, so. You know, the hope is that he'll be available for Friday, but that's still a little bit day to day. And then same thing for Chuck. You know, Chuck's got something that's you know, it's not crazy, but it's a little bit more complicated, and we got to see kind of what happens in time. And potentially could be available Friday. He's a little bit more kind of day to day, and you know, it'd be nice to be able to have both of those guys back Friday night. But if not Friday, you know, it should be pretty close.
Nice shot.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.